Man United and Arsenal-linked Xavi Simons makes crunch decision on future. Xavi Simons wants to leave RB Leipzig this summer, with the Netherlands international likely to cost around £63 million and the Premier League his most likely destination. Still just 22 years old, the forward has had an eventful career so far, with 2 spells at Paris Saint-Germain, an impressive season at PSV, and now already set to move on from Leipzig after signing for them permanently in January this year. Simons has scored 9 Bundesliga goals in 24 games this season, making his loan switch from PSG permanent in the winter transfer window. The Dutchman has long been linked with a move to the Premier League, with Manchester United and Arsenal touted as possible destinations, with this summer now looking a likely time for him to make the switch to England. As are interested clubs, with suitors from the Premier League and Bundesliga, with Bayern Munich named as being attentive to his situation. However, a Premier League switch is reportedly more likely given his substantial asking price of around €75 million, £63 million. Simon spent some of his youth career at Barcelona, and Romano's report states that he wants to return to the Camp Nou at some stage of his career, but this summer is unlikely. The Red Devils and the Gunners were credited with an interest in the Amsterdam-born forward last summer, while Manchester City were also believed to be keen on him. Both Manchester United and Arsenal are sure to be in the market to strengthen their forward line in the coming transfer window, so Simons will still be on their radars. RB Leipzig are not having their best season, sitting 7th ahead of the final game of the Bundesliga campaign and with Jolt Low still in interim charge after Marco Rose left his post as manager in March. Simons is believed to want to play Champions League football, which he has done with Leipzig, but now will not next season. Speaking last month, he told Sky Germany, "I'm still a young player, I have many dreams and the club knows that. But right now, the most important thing for me is to play well in the upcoming games." Simons came in for criticism of sorts from Low earlier this month when he was handed the captain's armband but did not live up to his manager's expectations. "We talked about why he would get the captain's armband and what we expect from him before the Frankfurt game," Low said of Simons. "It's clear that he hasn't been able to fulfill that role. He tried, but there's still room for improvement." Mason Greenwood's stance on transfer emerges as 2 clubs line up for ex-Man United star. The former Manchester United winger could make a return to English football this summer. Mason Greenwood's struggles to settle in France could see him reportedly make a sensational return to English football this summer. The former Manchester United Academy graduate left the club last summer to join Marseille after a season on loan at Getafe. However, after just 1 season, his long-term future at the League One club has been put into doubt. Greenwood's work rate and attitude have been questioned by some supporters, while manager Roberto De Zerbi has publicly criticized him at times. "I expect more from him. He has to do more, because what he is currently showing is not enough," the former Brighton manager said. "If he wants to achieve his ambition of becoming a champion, he has to be more consistent, sacrifice more and be more determined. Otherwise, we as a team always fall back into the same pattern: a very good match, then a defeat at Auxerre, then a victory against Nantes. It's too irregular, it's like waves. And that's something I don't like." Earlier this week, it was claimed that at least 2 Premier League teams were considering a move for Greenwood, who could reunite with his former United teammates by playing against them for another English club. Meanwhile, TalkSport reports that sources close to the winger say he is feeling unsettled in France. It's believed that Greenwood has attracted interest from at least 2 Premier League clubs. Reports in France also claim that Marseille would consider a strong offer for him at the end of the season. Should a transfer materialize, it's understood that United would be entitled to around 40 to 50% of the sale fee. Inter Milan set their sights on Joshua Zirkzee this summer. Manchester United could part ways with Joshua Zirkzee this summer as part of their transfer shake-up. Following a difficult start to life at Old Trafford, Zirkzee appeared to be gradually finding his place in the club, producing increasingly impressive performances as time went by. Sadly, his progress was disrupted upon suffering a hamstring injury. As a result, he is expected to be ruled out for the rest of the season, with the player himself admitting that a return in time for the UEFA Europa League final appears unlikely. While he may not be showing off his talent on the pitch at present, Inter Milan appear to have taken his previous performances very seriously as they look to reinforce their squad in the upcoming transfer window. Corriere dello Sport reported today that Inter are looking to recruit Zirkzee, especially given his experience at the summit of Serie A. If United were to fail to win the Europa League, they would also lose their last chance to play in the Champions League, the report noted. And next year, with only the Premier League, the space would be even more limited. Not to mention that the Red Devils, also dissatisfied with Hodgland's performance, are already thinking of hunting for another striker. In short, it is likely that they too would look favorably on a new placement for Xerxes. But while United might be forced to offload certain players due to their financial crunch, should it transpire, they might not part ways with Xerxes permanently, at least not at first. The idea of the Nerazzurri club, however, is to propose a loan with an option to buy to United, which, perhaps, under certain conditions, could become an obligation, the report added. A summer ago, the Red Devils paid the 40 million clause to take Xerxes from Bologna. It is not a stratospheric figure for a top-level striker, who has also lost value in the last 12 months. And even the salary would not be an obstacle, given that we are talking about 3.5 million per season plus bonuses. Should Inter's pursuit of Xerxes become serious, they could face some stiff competition to sign him. Napoli previously emerged as a potential destination for Xerxes, with both the player and the club reportedly open to a transfer, as acknowledged by the people's person. Should Xerxes depart United, he would no doubt be a loss for manager Ruben Amorim. Still, with a deal for Matheus Cunha on the table, Xerxes' departure could become financially necessary depending on the movements of other players in the squad. This makes it all the more important for United to come away with a victory in the Europa League final on May 21st, especially with qualification for next season's Champions League on the cards.